Much time you've got.
Hello, welcome to Handmade by Julia Quinn and my project for the Global Share Fair. I've had major dramas. My tripod broke 5 seconds before 10 o'clock and now we've used a bit of string to hold it in place. So hopefully I'll be quick enough so that you can see what I'm making today. Right, this is my card. And I've made a slimline card today, something simple but a little bit different. And I'm featuring the Petal Park stamp set. And then for the greetings, I've just used some of these gorgeous greetings from Pansy Patch. But you could use any greetings you like for your card. But I really like the Pansy Patch because it's a nice little generic greeting I can use for anything. And I really like this greeting on the inside. So Petal Park is actually a 2-step stamp set, which I didn't realise at first when I first got it and started playing with it. I just thought it was lovely lines and a lovely fill in. But actually they are a 2-step stamp, which I think is really, really wonderful. Now Petal Park is, I meant to get the page of the catalogue ready, but because of the excitement with my tripod, I'm just going to go with making the card. Now, your paper, I'm a metric girl, so I'm using thick white for my card base, and the length of the card is actually the width of the cardstock, okay? So I've just cut it off at 18 centimetres and scored it at 9 centimetres, and then the length is 21 centimetres, and that fits perfectly inside our new slimline envelopes. But if you're using Imperial, I think it would be 8.5, which is the length of your cardstock, by 7 inches, scored at 3.5, which makes each of these mats just a little bit smaller. So with metric, it's 20.5 by 8.5, and there's 2 of those, one for inside and one for the front. And your white would be 8.25 by 3.25, and 2 of those again, and then the white is 20 centimetres by 8 centimetres. Hopefully, and I'll put those measurements in on the photos when I finish my project. All right, I'm still a bit, it's very stressful having the whole tripod fall apart just before we started. So I'm sorry about my overexcitement. All right, so I've got 2 pieces of mint macaron, my 2 white pieces for stamping, and then I've got an extra scrap to stamp my extra flowers for the front. All right, just score that in half there with my phone scorer. And then I actually can stick both of these on straight away, and I just think I'll do that because it's nice and calm and easy. I can't actually see your comments till I'm finished because I don't have another system, but I will reply to everybody as soon as you're finished. And thank you so much for your patience for me getting on here a little bit late. I've been watching the clock all morning. This time yesterday, I was bushwalking in the rainforest in Binnaburra, saying to my husband, we have to be home by tomorrow because I've got to do this video. And then at the last minute, we're running late. That one doesn't look like the right size. Oh my goodness, after all that, I've got one the wrong size. Okay, so to fix that problem, because I've already stuck it, I'm just going to cut off 1 centimetre off the edge of my paper there, and I hope and pray that that's right. There we go. It looks better than it did. Okay, now I'll just get my piercing mat to do my stamping on, my little one first. And I have all of my blocks loaded up here. So I've got my line images first, and when I've been doing this, and I've done a lot of stamping with this stamp set, it really is so pretty. I like to do my leaves first because that way I know where I'm going to put my flowers. And I'm going to use my mint macaron for the outline of my leaves. Pop you over there so I don't make a mess of you. Just ink up my leaves and put one there and then the other up there. Okay, so I'm actually doing 2 sprays, but then putting extra flowers in so that it looks like it's one continuous spray of flowers. And while I've got my, oh no, I should have done my inside one while I'm doing it, rather than cleaning my stamp straight away. So I'm just going to add some leaves to the bottom and to the top. And I should have had a scrap piece of paper there. I didn't know I was such a stressy person. While I've got my mint macaron out, I'm just going to add some extra little leafery around my, oh actually I should wait probably till I've done my flowers before I do that. So I'm just going to put you aside. I'll do my soft sea foam next for the inside leaves. And as I said, this is two-step. You could do this on your Stamparatus. It would work really, really nicely and be much, much easier probably. But for a card such as this, which has some random stamping on it, it's much easier just to eyeball it. So any bits that I don't quite line up, because I'm putting extra flowers on it, I can actually cover them up with extra flowers, okay? Oh, before I clean it, I'll do the inside one and my scrap piece of paper underneath. And pop that one up there. One, oops, and two. Hope you're seeing this okay. Seems to be okay. Right, so just pop you out. That's you done for the moment over there. But I will be using that again later to add extra flowers. Now it's time to line up the flowers, and I'm using Sweet Sorbet for my flower outline. Okay, and this one here, you can see it has chopped off leaves just there, and that I use that as my point to put in my large flower, and then the other two just sort of fit in between the leaves there. I wonder if I did that right. Anyway, is it this way? I'll do it this way this time. There we go. Look at that. It can work both ways, sort of, in a way. Rightio, just pop those there. And that one up there. And while I've got my Sweet Sorbet, I'm going to stamp some more flowers. With a stamp and a punch, I always like to put my punch upside down beside me so that I know which way to line up my flowers to stamp. So that way I know that it will punch easily, okay? And as you can see, I've already used this piece of paper to punch my flowers for my previous card. All right, excellent, that worked. Now, while I've got my Sweet Sorbet, I'm going to do my greeting on the front. And that is a little hello from me to you. So I can use this for any sort of card down the bottom. On the front and on the inside is wishing you a little happiness just because you're you. Isn't it? I think that we should say that to our loved ones often. Okay, that's all my Sweet Sorbet stamping done. Next is Blushing Bride for my flower centers. And these go, once again, line up really nicely. And thank goodness for photopolymer stamps, because it does line up really well. Okay, that's the inside of my card, totally complete. I can put you out of the way. And pop that one there, and this one over here. Weird how I've done that both ways. My brain's just totally frazzled. There we go. They line up very nicely. And then on my punching flowers, 1, 2, 3. Oops. All right. I think, no, that's not all my stamping. Now I'm going to put my extra leaves in just to fill out the front of this so it looks really more luxurious, okay? So wherever I think could do with a bit more leafery, I'm just going to put this lovely little beautiful fern. Now I'm going to put some flowers there, of course. One more there maybe, so then it looks a little bit more full. And dots. Oh, gosh, I love dots. Dots fix any problems. They cover up any mistakes. If you've misstamped something, it just, they're like magic. Dots are incredibly forgiving. A couple down there. Put a dot over here. I used to be an infants teacher many years ago, and when I'm doing that, it always reminds me of that song. And last of all, some more soft sea foam for my little fernery to fill that in. So this card, there's a lot of stamping. This is not a card for a beginner stamper if you're teaching your a beginner stamper, because there's a lot of stamping, and a lot of stamping scares new people off. But it is a brilliant way to show how easy it is to do two-step stamping, because despite me going off a few times, it still looks pretty awesome. Have I missed any? No, don't think so. And if I have, I'm going to cover it up with another flower. Okay, I think that's all my stamping done. Get you out of the way. Actually, I will need that piercing mat again. I'll show you why in a minute. I use my coordinating Petal Park punch. Isn't it wonderful how the punches and the dies and the stamp sets all have the same names? One. And punching out 3 flowers at the same time is fantastic when you're making tons of cards. Oh my goodness. Sorry. And I can see a flower I haven't stamped very well there. Where did you go there? Did I lose a flower on the floor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here it is. So see, this one I haven't stamped properly. I'm going to fix that by adding some clear Wink of Stella and a bit of ink, and just fill in the details there. And then seeing I've got clear Wink of Stella, I better just tart up all the others as well with a bit of Wink of Stella, because that fixes all the mistakes. Doesn't it? I'm not sure whether the camera is picking up the beautiful sparkle, but it is an amazing product. Let's do the other ones on the front too, shall we? Sparkle, 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 because we're going to add iridescent rhinestone and the glittery organdy ribbon as well, which is even more sparkle. There we go. Okay, so with these guys, I want to add a little bit of movement and dimension to them. So what I'm going to do is, with my take your pick tool, like the best tool in the whole world, with the lid on the putty end, I'm just going to push it into my piercing mat there, which gives it a little bit of, has a bit of give, and it creates this gorgeous, lovely, easy textured flowers that are almost like the amazing flowers that you can buy. Oops. And then I've just got to stick my panel on to my card. I'll stick the inside on first. Oh, blimey. It looks like I'm nearly going to run out of this too. Yeah, just what I said. I don't have another one nearby, so I'm going to have to use tape. Because if you know me, you know I'm not I am not a liquid glue person. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't like the feel of it on my hands. I'm a wuss. In other words, I try to avoid using it, although I do use it when I have to. Here we go. Quick save. There. And then the front. I've picked up the ink off the back of my piercing mat there. Lucky I didn't make a mistake on the front that I've seen. And one more. Okay. And then line that up. And then my flowers get stuck on with dimensionals in the empty spaces to create the lovely swag of flowers falling down the card. Oh goodness. Another one there. And then I might use mini dimensionals for these guys. And it just goes on that little bit where the lid of the Take Your Pick tool created that little divot. There's another one there I need. Baby ones. Leave a space there because I'm going to put my bow there. Oops, there's a space there, I need one. Doesn't it, I think, having the extra flowers just really gives life to this beautiful image. Where else? There we go. Okay. And you could go to town, you could have lots and lots of flowers. Then the last bit of my ribbon. Let's see if I can make a bow out of this last little bit. Oh, goodness. Should have done this beforehand, shouldn't I? All of the things I was going to do before. It's okay. Pull my tails there. There we are. I love the sparkle in this ribbon. Okay, I'm going to use a mini glue dot for this one. Pop you over here. Trim you off to match the other side. And then some iridescent rhinestones. And I often find it difficult to use the really, really large rhinestones, but in a project like this, I can just scatter them around and I think they look great. They just add extra sparkle and bling. I'm just going to throw them on. However, there's no good hoarding my beautiful rhinestones. Got to use them. Do I need another one? Yeah, I do. Another one there. There we go. So, that's it for me. Crisis averted, sort of. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you've got some great ideas on how to use this gorgeous duo of the Petal Park stamp set and the coordinating Petal Park punch. Make sure you keep watching everybody in our global share fair this weekend. There's so many amazing demonstrators and beautiful projects. Thanks so much for joining me and for your patience with me. Bye-bye now.